Hey everyone, it's Emily from Life So Savory, and I'm super excited about today's show because now that Mother's Day is over, checkity check, we can move on to Father's Day, and I have a really fun Father's Day project for you. We're actually going to create a Father's Day shirt two different ways. So I'm really excited about showing you how to use one of my free cut files, and I offer at least one cut file a month. There's a huge library of them available under the Scan and Cut and crafting section that you can check out. But I did want to show you, now that I've been using the Sublimation printer, how you can use those same cut files not only to cut vinyl, which we're going to do, but also to make a sublimation print and to use the same free file two different ways. All right, so it's going to be awesome. It's going to be really fun. And if you do it, make one of these shirts soon, then you can check Father's Day off your list. I guess my husband's getting two of the same shirts this year, whether he knows it or not. Okay, so that's what we're going to be creating today. I'm so glad you're here. I'd love to have you say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. I've got an overhead camera here, and I'm going to be showing a lot of work right here on the table, but I wanted to show my face and say hi and introduce what we're going to be making today. So I'm going to be showing you first the free cut file in a folder on my computer so that you can see when you download one of my files or other people's files what that might look like. All right. So I'm going to share my screen here in a minute and show you the free cut file, as well as the kinds of files that come in a bundle. So my files will be usually downloaded to you in a zip format, which means it has multiple files within a single folder. Okay, and let's see. Yeah, this is what I want to show you. Okay, so I'm going to show you what that looks like, and then we can open those up, take a look, and I'll show you which kind of files we're going to be using today for various purposes. So let me go ahead and see if I can share my screen here. Let's see. Maybe we'll just do this. I think I have to share my entire screen here. Okay, so you can see me on here. And then, all right, so can you see I'm assuming you can see the file folders now coming up. So this is last month's free file, and it's a Dad Jokes t-shirt, or I mean, you could use it anywhere, but I intended it to be a shirt, a Dad Jokes shirt file, and the free download comes in a zip file, which means it needs to be unzipped, and which I guess I can show you. Let me go back one. Okay, so here's the zip file. You can see it has a little zipper on it, and when I right click on there, I'm not sure how it works on a Mac, but I think it's equally as simple. You can right click on there, or I just open it up, and then you're going to hit this extract all, and it will open up those files so you can use them. We can take a look at them first, and I just want to show you it comes with a PDF, an SVG, a JPEG, and a PNG. Today we're going to use two of those four formats, but I usually include all four because I don't know what people are going to be using the files for and what they might want them for. Okay, so the PDF obviously just opens the PDF. Just going to see if it will open and show us. Okay, so there is the fun thing. It says Dad Jokes. It's got a Venn diagram, and where the magic happens is in the middle. All right, so we're going to close all those tabs. And so the same thing in a JPEG, PNG, the SVG, which we're going to use to cut the vinyl, it looks like this. Okay, so you can cut it, and I'll show you when we do that, but multiple colors, one color, whatever you want. We're going to cut the vinyl actually first. and then we'll do a print of it. So the print will be color, and it's the colors that I have set, but the vinyl can be any color that you want. All right, so this is what we're working with. So let me bring this up on Canvas Workspace. Okay, can anyone comment that you can see my screen? I just was going to make sure, I know there's only a couple of you watching, but can you see my screen that I'm sharing? Because I'd hate to be blabbing on this whole time and you can't even see my screen. So hopefully you can see the screen that I'm sharing. Right now you can probably see me on the screen sharing you. Not yet. Were you able to before? Can you now, Danielle? Can you see? Because I've been hopefully right there. Yes? I'm going to minimize it again, but hopefully you can see it because I can't check the comments. Let me see if I can minimize this. So I can check the comments and only see you. Can you, but you can't see that. Oh my goodness. I didn't even add it to the stage. Okay. There, you can see me and my presentation. How awesome is that? Okay, so, oh my goodness. So I just blabbed on and didn't even show you. We're going to redo that so that you can see exactly what I was talking about. Okay, so going back to this is a zip file right here. All right, it has a little zipper on it. You can hit this extract all button to open it up. And then when I open it, there's a PDF, an SVG, a JPEG, and a PNG. We're going to use the SVG for cutting and the PNG for printing. The PNG is a color file. Let's open that up. Take a look at it. Okay, so you can see it's in a color. Oh, the PNG is weird because it has a clear background. Let's look at the JPEG. Okay, so you can see it has some gray and some green and some black in there. When you print it, it will be those colors, okay? The PDF will open the same. The SVG will open up in an outline form for your cutting software. So doesn't matter what kind of cutting machine you have, this SVG file should work on it. And all the pieces are in different layers. So if you want the circles a color, the dad jokes a different color, the arrow a different color, you should be able to make all that happen, okay? And feel free to ask questions. I'll try to check in every once in a while on the questions, and hopefully you can see, but you can also see me on the side, which is fun. Okay, so I'm going to reduce that again. I have to share my whole computer screen to be able to show you this folder. All right, so there we go. This is what's included, and I just was going to show you that I recently bought a Silly Goose file, and it also came with an SVG, which is this one. This one is a PNG. This one is a PDF. Okay, so these three files were included in this one. I don't even remember where I bought it, Etsy maybe, or another design place. So you're going to be able to use the SVG and the PNG for both printing and for vinyl, whether you buy one or you're using one of my free ones. If it's an SVG only, then you're going to need a converter to be able to print it. But there are free converters available. Okay, so let's open Canvas Workspace and we're going to layer this. I have 3 different colors of vinyl that I want to cut this project in today. Okay, so I have this tan, this blue, and this sort of red peachy color. We're not going to use a lot of that, but I wanted a little color. And then I have 2 t-shirts because we're making this 2 times. So we're going to put the vinyl on the darker color. And then we're going to put the print on the little bit lighter color. Okay, so the sublimation works best on not dark color fabric because I'm not sublimating onto something for dark fabric. So just a note. Okay, so we're going to we're going to go over here to SVG. We're going to open that one we just, the dad jokes, SVG right here. Okay. And then you can go over here and check on the layers, and we can have jokes, dad, this line, where the magic happens, the arrow, the squiggly line, and the shapes all can be separate color cuts. Okay. So I'm going to, let's see. So you want to hide what you don't want to cut. So we're going to cut the circles and this line and the arrow first. So I think I'm going to hide the words. Okay, so we're going to leave this and we're going to cut this out of the tan so it's nice and obvious. We'll maybe make the blue a squiggly line, and then we'll make the lighter color the words. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn on that. Will it turn on? Okay, I'm also going to go back here to the presentation, and I'm going to take this off so it's just me, and I'm going to switch you to my overhead camera. Okay, just give it a second. It's a weird transition. Okay, so now you can see what I'm working with. I have a camera up above, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to cut it. So I'm actually going to move this now, and I'll still be working with those files to select the different layers, but I want to be able to work here and show you that. Also, too many cords. Too many cords. Okay, so I'm going to get out my mat. I have my heat press warming up. I just cleaned this yesterday with a baby wipe, so it's nice and clean. I'm going to go back over to Canvas Workspace, and I'm going to export my file. All the ones that are hidden will not be cut. And that's fine. We don't care if they're going to cut. All right, so now we're ready to do it. So I'm cutting the circles and a line. So I want those to be, I think, this tan color. Okay, so we're going to put the glossy side down. Okay, press it. This is only going to cut about 8-ish inches or so, but it looks like it. I need to put this closer up to the top. Okay, there we go. Just want to make sure. All right. So now I'm going to load this into the machine, move my other vinyl out of the way. I was also working on a different project before I went live today, so I've also got that stuff in there. And let me see if I push this down flat. Can you see? Maybe, might be kind of hard to see me select. All right, so we're going to hit retrieve data, the cloud pocket. And then I can see my design on there, so I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. I'm going to load the mat. Okay, we're going to select cut. The half cut is on, so we're going to go ahead and start. Now, while that is cutting, I'm going to head over to Canvas Workspace, and I'm going to select all of the text. So where the magic happens, the jokes, and the dad, and then I'm going to hide the other layers. So the last thing we'll have to cut is that squiggly line in the Venn diagram that connects the dad and the jokes. Okay, so we'll cut that probably out of that, maybe the pinky, peachy fabric. I just want a little bit more color on there. I wonder if I should have done Maybe I'll cut the arrow. I'll recut the arrow in that one too. Okay, so we're going to cut all of the different layers, and then we'll go ahead and I'll show you how easy it is to stick them all together with the heat press. You can see right here, it's telling me exactly how much longer it has to cut. I'm going to transfer the next piece to the machine. You can do that while it's cutting. Okay, so this one is now finished, and I'm going to use my scissors. These were fabric scissors. Now they're not because they're super dull. And I think I'm going to take this arrow out and use it for something else. Okay, so now we're going to cut the words out of blue, and I'm going to cut this into a straight line. But I will save that because I saved my scraps. Okay, we're going to go back to the home screen. We're going to retrieve it from the cloud pocket again. Whoa, so I can see, I'm going to, let's see, it starts 3 inches down. So I could move it, or I can just move my vinyl. So we're just going to move the vinyl. And then we're going to go, okay, select, cut, double check that the half cut is on. But you know what I did not do? And no one has stopped me yet? I didn't reverse it. So if I don't do that, we're going to be in big, big trouble. Okay, let's see. Object edit, mirror. Okay, whew, caught it. Otherwise, you know those words. Nothing else on this design really has to be mirrored, but of course the words do because vinyl is cut in the reverse, and that would be bad, and I would have had to recut it. So let's hope that we cut ourselves from having to do that. And then again, while this is cutting, I'm going to head back over to the Canvas workspace, and I'm going to select the arrow and the squiggly line, and then we're going to hide the words. And we're going to cut that out of the final color. Okay, and I'm trying to move it. Let's see if I can. I might need 2 hands. Over to take up less vinyl. Okay. Oh, and then I'm going to transfer that. One last time for the third color. Okay. So this one is cutting the words to this design. And I like, you can see the progress bar. It tells you right as you go along how it's going. Unfortunately, on the word dad, it looks like my vinyl dipped down just a little bit and it didn't cut it. So I'm going to recut that before we even take our blue off the mat. The other words are fine. The jokes are fine, but the tops of the D's are cut off. So if I go back to edit and let's see, I'm going to tip this up for a second. ungroup it. Okay, we're going to delete the jokes and delete the where the magic happens. Whoops. Okay. Then I'm going to take the dad and I'm going to move it down a couple inches. Not so much that it gets into the other word, but enough that it's where I want it to be. And we're going to recut that. Cut. Okay, just that one little section. That will just take like 30 seconds to recut that one part. Okay, if you're just joining, we are making a dad jokes fun Father's Day shirt 2 different ways. So I'm showing you how to do it in vinyl and then how to do it with a sublimation printer using the same free cut file bundle. Okay, so the same bundle usually has an SVG file in it, which is what we're using right now, the SVG, and also a PNG or a JPEG. Now, PNGs are the best for printing with sublimation, but you can use a JPEG. Okay, so if your file only includes a JPEG, it's okay. All right, we're going to go back to the home screen. We're going to retrieve one more time from that cloud pocket. So we just have a squiggly line and an arrow right along that side. We're going to lay the vinyl down. Cut. Start. All right, so let's cut our last piece, and then we will be finished with the scan and cut. You could cut this all one color, all white, all black, if you want to simplify it. It really doesn't have to be 3 different cuts. I'm making it like slightly more complicated than it has to be. But you absolutely can piece it. The layers are such that you can piece it out. And I wanted to show you that, okay? Because with the print file, there's a lot less editing capabilities unless you edit it before you send it to like Artspira, which is what I'm going to use. But I'm not going to edit it. So I'm going to use it just as is. And I'm going to show you that. So obviously the vinyl is more work because we just cut it in 3 different pieces. We're going to inject this. Put the cover back on it. Back in my storage drawer. All right, so I can go ahead and shut this down now. And then we're going to grab all of these pieces. Okay, and I'm going to weed these out so we see what we're working with. I was just using, there is a vinyl auto blade for the Scan and Cut DX. I just was using the regular auto blade, which means it sensed the depth and I didn't need to set the depth or anything like that. There's our arrow and squiggly line. I think I like that little bit of color. This, I'm just going to cut out that one that's a mistake. This dad piece is going to have to be placed separately onto the shirt because it was no longer, I cut it wrong. Okay, so I'm going to have to place that on its own. But let's, oh, no. What is happening? I want, this is kind of old vinyl. Piece that holds it all together just ripped. It's not even the vinyl. The vinyl's fine. So I'm going to get a piece of tape so that I can hold that together and it doesn't come apart again. And I guess I'm going to be really careful with this glue. That it's actually pulling apart. Usually I just sort of get it started and then I pull at it, which you saw me do, and that wasn't super successful. So I'm going to be a little more gentle, a little bit more gentle with it, but it is still pulling. So I don't know. There's a big gap here. I did not group the words. So if you want, you could put all the words together so you didn't have this waste of vinyl here in the middle. I was kind of hoping it would I could just plop it in and it would be in the right placement. But if you group the words, then you're going to have to make sure that you place the word dad and jokes in the right spot in the Venn diagram, but not hard to do either. So then I have some insides of letters to weed. And if the light's not very good, sometimes it's hard to see where that really is coming out. Okay. There we go. Whoops. Don't want those little guys in there. All right. So now when we flip it over to this side, this is right side up. So we didn't make it backwards. Yay. This is the dad word that we recut. They make these like things that you can wear on your finger and put these little pieces of vinyl in. Have you seen those? They look really handy. I do not have one. If the vinyl is sticky, sometimes I'll like put a piece over there and then use the sticky to do it, but this isn't sticky because this is heat transfer, so not sticky. All right, so there's our other word, dad. And then now, so we have 2 of the 3 pieces weeded right here. So now we're going to go ahead and weed out the Venn diagram. And the line that was below where the magic happens. Okay, so I made that all. I decided to recut this, so I'm actually going to take out this little arrow. Get rid of that guy. I changed my mind on what color I wanted him to be. Okay, hopefully this isn't giving anyone bad flashbacks of school making Venn diagrams. But I thought it was too funny when I saw this quote, and so I had to make my own version of it. And I think it's going to be a really fun shirt. And the print, okay? So as soon as we're done making this, we're going to do the print version of it, and it's going to be just as awesome, but also different. Okay, so now I'm going to make sure my heat press is on. So you need an iron or a heat press, heated up warm, hot, in fact. And I'm going to grab my pressing mat. Okay, and then we're using the darker color shirt. Okay, and we're going to go with the center of the shirt. And I'm going to start with the big piece, and then we'll add in the smaller pieces. So I am going to preheat this shirt, but first I'm just going to check about where I want the placement. You want it midway between the middle of the arms and then the underarms. That's usually a good placement. And then, of course, lining up the center with the center of the shirt. Okay, so I'm just going to take this heat press. Can I? Is it long enough? Cord. And just quickly heat the fabric. Preheat the fabric a little bit. Okay, and then place that on there. And now we're going to go ahead and press it. And you do want to try to like actually put some physical pressure on it with your hands if it's not a press that does the pressure for you, like one of those sort of larger heat presses. This is just a handheld one, not like a countertop one. So it does need you to actually physically do the pressing. I've got a timer here set for 1 minute. So we'll do that, and then we will be able to build the layers. I might be able to do all the other things in one more layer because nothing else overlaps on each other. So I think it should be okay. All right, so time is ticking down. Sometimes halfway through, I will take a look and make sure that I'm not discoloring the fabric, because especially like on a white fabric, sometimes you can actually burn it, and that's not a good look. So just double check that you're not burning your fabric. And we'll press this again. So if you don't think it's like completely in a good spot, it's okay, because we're gonna add the other layers and then we're gonna press it again. So some vinyl works better peeled hot, and some vinyl you wanna peel it a little bit cooled off. This one looks like I want to wait a minute because it was just like trying to peel up a little bit. So double check when you're peeling your vinyl. If the plastic doesn't come right off, then wait a minute, let it cool, and try again. Okay. Oh my goodness, looks so awesome. We're going to save that large piece because we're going to need that to help cover when we put these smaller pieces on. All right, so now we're going to add that piece there in the middle. Looks good. And then this. So actually, I'm going to place, I'm going to trim this because this is really close to the words. And I need to be able to put my words underneath of it. The where the magic happens goes on the line, centered. Okay. So now what we're making sure is that this arrow and that vinyl isn't covering this vinyl. They all have to be touching. All the vinyl that I want to iron next has to be touching the fabric of the shirt. So just make sure nothing is layered that shouldn't be. Okay. And then these are exposed. So if I put the heat press on there, what's going to happen? They are going to melt onto my iron and make a huge mess. So we're going to cover everything one more time, and then we're going to press it again. And after another minute, the shirt will be finished and it will be awesome. And then I will show you method number 2, which after this one, you're going to think takes like 5 seconds, because it really does. The printer is so incredibly fast. I love vinyl. I still make a lot of vinyl things, but I certainly also have started printing a lot of things if I can print it. Plus you can print the colors. So if you want an exact color that you don't have in vinyl, now it will be different. You'll see like it's not as bright and it's not as bold, and there's a difference. So anyway, we will see what that looks like and what you think. You'll have to vote on which one you think is your favorite when we get finished. Of course, the replay for this will be available on both YouTube and Facebook as soon as I'm finished here. And then I am also thinking of re-editing this into a post to talk about how to use these files, both kinds of files, to make shirts, because sometimes you download and you only think, well, I can only use an SVG for one thing, but actually you can use it for multiple different types of projects. All right, now with vinyl, one thing I like to look for, how beautiful is that, is I like to look in the vinyl and I like to be able to see the texture of the shirt through the vinyl. And if I can see that, then I am pretty sure that it is adhered. I'll lift the whole pad so you can see, adhered really well to the shirt. If it still looks flat and not like really part of the fabric, then I think there's a higher chance that that can come apart later. Okay. Oh my goodness. This turned out so cute. I'm going to switch cameras over one more time to get the printer out and talk about that. And then, wait, wrong one. Okay. How fun. How fun did that turn out? And that was pretty easy, wasn't it? I think it looks really good with this color shirt. Super fun. That turned out awesome. Okay, so there is shirt number 1. Now I'm going to grab the Sublimation printer, and we're going to do shirt number 2, and it's going to be really fast and really easy, and you're going to be impressed if you haven't used the printer before. All right, so I just got to change over. I need some different craft supplies. I need Art Spira. Need the printer. Let me plug it in. And it's turning on, so it has to connect to the internet. Okay, I'm going to switch back overhead so I can show you on Art Spira what we're doing here to create this shirt. Okay, so I'm going to turn on my iPad. Okay, ooh. Cancel. I want to go back and show you from the start how I'm getting my file. Let's go to home. Okay, so there's the home on Art Spira. I hadn't logged in for like a week, and I see all these amazing like Olympic themed embroidery files. How fun is that? So I need to get back in here because obviously they've added a lot of things since I last logged in. So love it, love it, love it. Okay, so I'm going to hit new. You have embroidery, cutting, and printing on the files, the new files. Is this upside down? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so embroidery, cutting, printing. We want a printer, design editor. Okay, I'm going to go landscape. Done. Then I'm going to hit this plus signal. I'm going to go to my camera roll, which I have this file. So this, I emailed, you can email or text or airdrop or whatever you want to do, the PNG version. Okay, so remember from those folders, I showed you different versions of the file. For printing, the best one that you want to use is the PNG version. Okay. Now, you can see this one is in color. It has gray and green and black, and that's the color it is. You cannot edit it on the Art Spira software. You'd have to have other software to edit it. I also want to show you that it looks like my design is all within the box. However, because this blue line, which is the like outside of the actual file, is outside the letter, it won't work. So you have to reduce it so that even the outside, that blue line is, I don't know if you can see the blue line. There's a blue line inside the letter line. That has to also be inside to do it. Okay, so done. We don't need to save it. Oops, I said don't save. Done. Don't save. I'm doing it upside down. Okay, so we're ready to print. I'm going to make sure this is on. Wi-Fi seems to be connected. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit print. What's it say? And sometimes the iPad, oh, there it goes, needs me to hit print a couple times. So I think it's just a matter of like getting it connected to the same networks. I'm not sure, but I've never had it not work, even pressing like a few times or closing Art Spira and opening it back up. So don't worry if it doesn't go ahead through the first time. And I think depending on the device you use, it might be like glitchier than other devices. Okay, so we are printing this in color to use on this gray sweatshirt right here, or sweater. T-shirt. It's a t-shirt. Why can't I speak? All right, so I'm going to turn this brightness back up a little bit. Okay, so you can see when that comes out what it looks like. I just saw someone the other day experimenting with double printing on a sublimation printer where they ran the same thing back through on the same piece of paper to like get double the ink. So I thought that was to make it like even a brighter print. So I thought that was interesting. I'm not trying this live today, but it might be something that I will try in the future. It's printing. If I look in there, it's coming out, but you can't see it yet, but it will be out in just a minute. And then we will press it. So I'm making sure the heat press is still on. Actually, one thing we're going to double check while that's going is I want to check the heat guide. So it loads to a web page, which will tell me exactly how hot, and I'm not sure if I have it memorized. The link in the description of this video to my blog post will tell you, because I did put it on there. Let's see, fabric, t-shirt. Okay, so 390 for 45 seconds. So I need to turn up my heat press a little bit. And I'm going to turn down to 45 seconds. All right. Now, you know that you're not supposed to sublimate on 100% cotton, right? In fact, the official guide with this printer says you actually have to use all polyester. I've had good luck using blends, no problem. So this is actually like a 70-30 cotton blend. So it's more cotton than polyester. So I'll have to report back on how it stays. But I was wanting to use this one because it was cheap. And I was honestly just looking for cheap t-shirts that I could do 2 of here to show you these 2 different ways. All right. So there's the print. It actually, I feel like kind of always looks blah, and the colors don't look great after it's printed. But when we flip it over and press it on, it always looks way, way better. All right, so I can't really see as well through the clear vinyl. So I have to, so you can always like find the scent, try not to touch the print, okay? That can smear. But I can like pinch the center so that I can try to get it centered, and I hopefully want it as flat as possible so that it would look kind of awkward if where the magic happens is cockeyed on my shirt. In fact, would look really terrible. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and press this. It's at 390. Do not move it around. You do not have to apply pressure. The sublimation only needs the heat. It does not need the pressure. It's not heat press fabric or heat press vinyl. It's just ink. So it doesn't need the pressure. It just needs the heat. So I'm just holding this in place so it doesn't move, but I'm not doing it so that it stays in place. Anyway, okay, there it is. Ticking down from 45. And when it beeps, hopefully we have a beautiful shirt. Ta-da! See, it's so cute. I did see, I told you to be a little bit more muted, right? It's not as bright and as bold as the vinyl. It's also a little bit smaller because, like I said, I was restricted by where those blue lines were hitting on the top and the bottom of this fabric. I don't know if I printed it this way. No, I probably couldn't have got it any bigger because that's as big as it gets. So it's going to be a little bit smaller. This one You can, of course, enlarge it as big or as small as you want, but they both look awesome. Okay, so let's switch over to the other camera one more time, and I will hold both of these up, and you can tell me which one you like best. Okay, so we have the vinyl version. Not burn myself here on the heat press. Let's turn that off. Okay, so the vinyl version. Fun. It looks so cute. And then the little more muted, but equally cool print version with the SVG. How fun, right? I think they both look awesome. So anyway, there's two different ways to make an amazing shirt, both with the print and with the vinyl. And the print is obviously quicker, but the vinyl has definitely some advantages as well, with being able to choose the colors, change up the size, and have more editing power. But this, if you just need a quick and easy t-shirt, go ahead and grab a PNG file and print it out. So if you don't have Artspira and you have a Brother Sublimation printer, download it, because it makes it so easy for you to use any of your custom pictures off your phone or your camera. You can use them to create your own t-shirts. So there we go. 2 shirts in 45 minutes. All right, thanks so much. I will be back next week. We're going to do a fun summer gardening project, and I can't wait to show you what we're going to make as well. So happy Wednesday. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.